This summit is a gathering of, by, and for democracies.
We will use whatever measure we deem appropriate.
Security forces were out in force all around the cordoned off area.
We want to further improve our democracies.
In April 2001, Quebec City was host to a meeting of 34 government leaders representing almost all nations of the American continent. The Summit of the Americas aimed to discuss a hemispheric free trade pact called the Free Trade Area of the Americas. I think the big question on everyone's mind was, would Quebec be another Seattle? I remember the images out of Seattle in '97, the police, the tear gas, the thousands of protesters, and the shutting down of the World Trade Organization meetings. I wanted to know what this summit was really all about. So I checked the internet. It became my major source of information. This is what I found out. In 1994, the North American Free Trade Agreement was signed between Canada, the US, and Mexico. Chapter 11 in NAFTA allowed corporations to sue governments. Canada bans certain fuel additives to protect the environment. Corporation chooses to not comply. Corporation can't legally sell product, therefore, they have financial losses. Corporation sues government for millions of dollars. Corporation wins. The FTAA wishes to privatize almost every public service, including healthcare and education. At some local concerned citizen meetings, people shared their reasons for becoming active in their communities.
You walk down the street and there are people begging and there are people homeless and people are being kicked off welfare and have nowhere to go, and social services are being gutted.
All the kids had their arms locked together and their heads down. So these guys come up and they grab them by the hair and pull their head back and they pepper spray them in the face. And two of them were in the midst of the crowd and they're carrying machine guns. And we're standing there watching, what is this, Canada? Where are we? We're living in an occupied country.
And that was, was that in Ottawa?
No, that was in Windsor. That was in Windsor, yeah.
Well, my experience in Windsor was basically it was a police state where you literally there were like 10 police would swarm you and just they demanded me to open my bag. I refused. And they said that, they'd heard a rumor that I had the horse shit in my bag and that they wanted to check. And I said, the only horse shit here is coming out of your mouth. But when you're surrounded by 10 police, there's not a hell of a lot you can do. So they searched the bed.
Searching the internet, I discovered a group called TVAC, Toronto Video Activists Collective. They offered many tips on how to shoot video at a protest. With camera in hand, we set off for Quebec City.
Every newspaper is running front page headlines every day on 10,000 terrorists are coming to town next week.
Our first glimpse of the fans.
The security in Quebec was aggressive. The perimeter was aggressive. The behavior of the police with the lobbing of tear gas into the crowds, totally peaceful crowds. If they wanted to deal with the maybe 200 people who were, engaging in more direct action, they just could have quietly, put handcuffs on them and led them away. They could easily have done that. They did not need any of the rest of it. It was total, brutal overkill.
Oh, dude. Fuck. My hair, it must have been in my hair.
How you feel?
Not so hot. Stop the burning, holy crap. Where'd it come from? Made my hair?
Stop, you're gonna keep leaking
Yeah.
into your hate.
I don't know. I don't know what else to do. All right, where we off to? It's a trooper, man. Ready to shoot. As soon as I can see properly.
Gas to try and keep the protesters dispersed and away from the security fence. The situation unfolding minute by minute, and we'll be checking back for a live report after we update some other news for you.
Tear gas, and they've moved up to the corner of the street. Effectively, they've been picking up some people. There were some, they're now at the level of our satellite truck.
Our first foray And what do we think?
Excellent.
Excellent.
It's great.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Why? Because I enjoyed it.
I got a shot of a guy when I was down with the riot cops trying to provoke him with their sign. Like, he's pushing a sign in front of him, and I'm like, man, you're just asking.
You know,
like,
the dude's got a gun, he's got a bat, he's got a
shield.
bulletproof vest, a shield. Like, there's nothing you can do. You know, if the guy comes at you, you're terrible.
There's still
I
not
feel a little
enough
more
of them.
comfortable with the wall up.
Well, I think that's a good point. I think the wall acted, like, especially where we were,
Anything
that
to
wall,
separate
because I know if I was
us
there
from
and that wall was gone, I wouldn't be there. Because the wall was keeping the cops away from the people. The most they can do is fire tear gas. You know, they could have fired rubber bullets, but you know they're not going to embarrass themselves like that.
Hi, buddy.
Bonjour.
Hello. See you a good day.
Socialist perspective. I'll give you that. Buying a paper. How much are they?
$15.
$15.
These are all from Miami. These are $2 each. If you're online, we have a website that tells you exactly what. I'm revolutionary. Revolutionary. You are so good. Oh, me, I'm bad. Take another look. I'm bad.
The free trade area of the Americas was not designed to extend NAFTA to the countries of the South. I believe it was designed to open it up and put services in it. They already have all of the countries of Latin America on their knees. They've already stripped them of their services, their public services, their health, their education. They've already got them totally committed in terms of their natural resources. They don't really need the countries of Latin America in NAFTA. What they wanted was to remove the exemptions that now exist in the current NAFTA for healthcare, education, social programs, cultural services, and so on.
You made it.
La grande familia.
Y no queremos y no nos da la gana de ser una colonia norteamericana.
Here come the grannies singing a big parade of people fed up with profit and greed. Join with the grannies singing ta-ra, 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 we want an end to corporate greed.
I think people are very spirited about being here. It's something that people want to do. And there is a great sense of solidarity. Everybody up here getting ready to protest here against the FTA. Soon we will be marching up with a variety of other unions and civil society people and assembling up near where the main gates are. And we'll see what happens from there. I'm sure there'll be some speeches and things like that. How many people get involved with other things, I don't know. I think the idea is to have a peaceful demonstration.
Je suis un bonhomme.
Pourquoi?
I'm a bonhomme because, well, it's kind of a joke. We're doing a little play on the FLQ, the Front de Libération de Québec. We call ourselves the Le FLIB, the Front de Libération des Bonhommes, and Yapasta, which is the Italian group that goes around with the big white suits. Yeah.
Okay. And why are you here?
Why are 50,000 people here? We're here because we want a new world. We want a world that's built around the wishes of people, not the wishes of corporations and capitalism.
Hey George, how you doing?
Do an interview, sir. What's that? Do an interview? Interview? I suppose I have time. I have to get to a conference, but
yeah.
What would you like to ask me?
Where's the rest of your entourage?
can't find them. I'm a bit worried. I'm looking for my team of advisors, actually. I'm afraid that if I don't get back, somebody will make the decisions for me.
Oh, shit.
I don't want that to happen, you know.
I'm impressed. There are a lot of fucking people here. There's no subtle way to put it. With a lot of people over there and a lot of people over here, I would gather that there's a lot of people.
It seems like a real revival of anti-imperialism. I haven't seen anything like this since the early 70s.
There's no way that was 25,000. It was bigger than Seattle, and I've been in all of them, and it was bigger than Seattle. It was huge. I would say there were 70 to 80,000 people in Quebec City.
Why are you wearing the mask?
Because it's been gas sprayed. It's really stinky and makes you cough. Gets in your nose.
Yeah.
Gotta cover up.
How you doing? Having a good time so far, everybody? Yeah, top of the bar.
This is the key. The key.
And there they're demonstrators, and they have poles hooked into the fence. Poles are ropes, maybe they're ropes, and they're tugging on them, trying to pull down the fence in Quebec City here. And tear gas is coming now from behind the fence. The police are behind the fence firing the tear gas. Some of the protesters are throwing it back.
I can't see shit. I gotta get a shot of those red-ass eyes, man. Thanks, man.
There's a rumored dog from that way, so we can't go back on that. So basically, sort of mobilized people walking up straight up to the right to the gate and walk along the gate up to the front.
I came down those stairs and got down there before a particularly brutal barrage of tear gas, and I looked up, and those stairs, I know the ones you mean, they were absolutely full. There must have been a couple of hundred people from top to bottom, and I counted, they lobbed 9 canisters of tear gas over right into the crowd, and I thought people are going to die here because they could have easily started to panic and trip and fall on each other.
People are prevented from demonstrating And so they're going to do things like try and rip fences down. Why are these fences up here? So it's provocative on the part of the security forces. You can see here the helicopters flying overhead. They've overdone it. And I think there's going to be some more trouble here today. There's no question about it.
Pretty surreal, that's for sure. It's, I don't quite know what to think. I don't think I've ever seen photo ops with cops. Smell of tear gas in the morning.
So what are you doing?
Cleaning up the garbage.
That's good.
All over, yeah.
Are you part of a group doing it?
Well, I know there's a few people doing it, but just kind of doing it on my own.
Good for
I
you.
was doing it yesterday too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. I was all over the place.
Yeah.
I saw a man get shot in the face with a rubber bullet about 10 feet away. He was only taking a picture and it was in an area of no tension. And then people came to his aid and they had the fire truck come over and hose him all down and they carried him away. I also saw, well, we were all sitting in a peaceful protest. Someone threw a cocktail into the CIBC bank.
Yeah.
And three of us were trying to put it out and yelling, "There's a fire, there's a fire." And one man actually went into the bank to put the fire out, and that's when the cops came up. So I was bending, I went like this and stepped back, went to pick up my coat, and one of them came running after me with the shield and started bashing me, saying, "Get in there, bitch, get in there," and he hit me once on the side. Some pretty crazy things I saw, but I wasn't there to cause trouble. I was just trying to keep the peace. I want things to be clean, and I don't want it to look bad.
That's a new water cannon police have brought in, and they are spraying those guys, and you can see the clouds of tear gas as well, as they've been tear gassing and spraying for the last about 5 minutes. Now,
because there is a lot of action up there.
Is there?
They're talking about it on the radio.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll take a look.
Okay.
Salute.
Okay, good luck, eh?
The night before, I was telling everybody to wash themselves. I was on the corner over there. They were there, that corner. They're nice.
Well, it looks like Quebec City will be getting more or less back to normal.
It's liberated. The liberation of Quebec City.
Yes. The wall of shame is starting to come down. And we are actually now within the perimeter. So, earlier today, this entire area here was off limits. You feel like you're walking through a forbidden zone or something, Blair?
Well, I feel like it's new.
Well, you haven't seen this before.
That's right.
Right. Now instead of lineups with cops, we have lineups with forklifts. Gone from cop after cop after cop to forklift after forklift. Now they're doing exactly what 50,000 protesters have been trying to do.
All they needed was one of those things.
I know. If everyone had one of those things. Look, Blair. Outside. Inside. See, if only all those people had waited till today. They could walk right up to it.
No problem.
Just found this on the ground. Looks like a shotgun shell.
Definitely is.
12
gauge.
12 gauge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deadliest of all these shotgun shells.
Fence is down now. What do you guys think?
Here, I got a piece of it.
You got a piece of it?
Yeah, it's like the bird in the wall.
I got a big chunk.
Is it concrete?
Have to get insurance to fix it.
Like, and for me, it's just like here.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of metal. And look at this label here. Grenade contains tear gas, which is highly irritating to eyes, nose, skin, and respiratory system. If exposed, rub eyes, blah blah blah. But here it says, information regarding usage. For outdoor use only. Do not use where possibility of fire exists. Like, for example, when they shot it into the CBC truck, directly from one of these grenades. Do not fire directly at persons as serious injury or death may result. Like, this stuff causes chromosomal damage and cancer and birth defects, but the other stuff causes permanent neurological damage. CS gas, that's why they don't use it. They're not allowed. But it was also used at Seattle. It's white smoke. Chemical irritating agent, CS. You know, to be fired from a 12 gauge shotgun or 37mm launcher. Do not use where possibility of fire exists. Look at that. CS. CS gas.
I think it'll be very fulfilling and affirming to find myself in a group of thousands of people who feel the same way and are trying to express their beliefs in a nonviolent way, or most of us hopefully will be trying to do it in a nonviolent way, and stand up for what we believe in.